Take a sip of my libation here. I respect you. I love you. I appreciate you. And today, I had to come on camera because I want to reminisce. I just want to talk about something quickly before we get into this video. Remember when WrestleMania used to feel so joyful, so impactful, so hype? You were seeing matches you had never seen before. You were begging your mom to go pay for the pay-per-view. You know, your mom or your dad, whatever, to go, someone come buy me the pay-per-view. You get what I'm saying? And at the end of the day, these feuds, the drama of it, the intrigue, even last year, the amazing builds The Rock was doing with Roman and Cody and Seth, you know, weeks before Mania, we're getting cool matchups, never before seen storylines, etc. And now you look at Mania, and this WrestleMania build is awful. And the reason why it's awful is partly because WWE does not care about the fans, and Triple H doesn't either, and he stinks at his job as a booker. And we all know this, and we're seeing it in front of our face. If WWE truly cared about the fans, as the product and the profits and the viewership is going down, we would not be getting more advertisements. We would be getting a product that hopefully gets better. If WWE really cared about the fans, we wouldn't be getting more ads as we get more ads now than we see our world champions like Cody and Gunther and all these people. We see ads more than we see them. We see more unfunny comedians and D-list celebrities than we see from Roman Reigns or Cody Rhodes or any of these people, John Cena, etc. It's unbearable. This is the worst WrestleMania build of all time. And despite that, WWE and Triple H have the audacity to sit there and try and convince fans and just lie to them that this Mania season is great. Papa H is cooking. Fina, I'm the gamer. We're in a new era. Stop. It's trash. And if you think for 1 second I'm going to sit here and get, hoodwinked into the garbage lies that they're spewing when we're getting bad Mania feuds, bad storytelling, bad promos, repetitive shows, repetitive matches, and repetitive trash, I ain't falling for it. Like John Cena said last week, just because someone mediocre holds something meaningful nowadays, it's enough to trick these bot fans into doing nonsense. Like Cody Rhodes, Roman Reigns. We are bots. That's what we're getting. You understand? It's unbearable. WWE has done everything in their power to manipulate, to lie, to hoodwink, to fool the fans into believing that garbage is greatness. But garbage is not greatness. Garbage is garbage. And that's why we have to sit here and critique and, bash this company until they get it through their heads that wrestling is not the problem. It's the people who are running wrestling companies that are the problem. And with WWE, it can't be any more clear than what we're seeing. You understand? So I wanted to preface that before I get into this video talking about why WWE and Triple H do not care about the fans at all. You understand that? Now, with that being said, let's pop another sip of the libation here. I can't stop thinking about pork. But anyways, let's get into the video with everyone saying Jax spits facts. Yeah! First off, we have to talk about the elephant in the room, okay? I don't know if you guys have been hearing or listening to any stuff about the ticket prices about this year's WrestleMania and why they're still missing thousands of seats. And the PLE, I think it's 13 days away now, or 12 days, whatever it is. The reason why is partly because the ticket sales are egregious. For third row seats, it's dang near $9,000 before the fees. Then you add the fees, you may be paying $10K for third row seats. What? As the product is down as bad as it is, you look at this Mania card, you look at Jey Uso versus Gunther, Charlotte versus Tiffany, you know what I'm saying? El Grande Americano, versus Rey Mysterio, the Fatal 4 for the Intercontinental Championship that no one cares about, that makes no sense, Rhea Ripley versus Io versus Bianca, another poor story, okay? And even Roman, Seth, and Punk, even though it has hype, the story for it has not been good at all, And that's just 6 matches alone. Look at the other ones. And you mean to tell me that for this, as the product, like I said, goes down, as the booking goes down, as the hype is not there, you're going to charge your fans $10,000 for third row seats. This is what the company is concerned with, not the actual product or the quality of it. No one cares about that anymore. It's just, hey, we'll give you a bad product, but hey, give me $10,000 for you to get the third row seat to watch the garbage product. What? They're hoodwinking the fans, they're lying to the fans, and they're manipulating the fans. Who in their right mind would actually spend anything over $100 to show up to this WrestleMania? Be real with yourself. There's no reason. I know people going to this Mania 41 that are absolutely disgusted, but it's too late now, so they don't want to refund the tickets. I get it, but this is embarrassing at this point. As we are witnessing poor builds and poor feuds and poor stories, WWE is charging more for tickets. Can you believe that? Can you believe that? You know, it's just ridiculous at this point. And the second most important thing that we have to discuss here, and this is actually a really good point in my opinion, when you really think about it, a year in advance of this Mania 41, Triple H was already saying, this is going to be the biggest WrestleMania of all time, it's going to be bigger than ever, WWE is as hottest as it's ever been, and then he did it under like the Fiend commercial, you know what I'm saying? And after he was doing all of this, he literally, you know, it's like we were all excited, because we were literally excited for what Triple H was saying, because we had just gotten a great Mania, so it's like, okay, let's believe in this guy. And then we had our fantasy booking ideas, which a lot of the fantasy booking ideas went as follows. Roman Reigns versus The Rock in the main event of WrestleMania, right? The night one main event being either Cody versus, heel Orton for the WWE title, or Gunther versus John Cena for the world title, so he gets his 17th. Jey Uso and Jimmy maybe reuniting and fighting for the tag belts or something like that. Maybe fighting a heel New Day. That could have been a pretty fun feud, because they used to put on bangers back in the 2010s, you dig? Okay, Charlotte Flair versus Tiffany Stratton, they did that, but the build for it sucked, so that doesn't matter. Rhea Ripley versus Bianca Belair for the world title. Now that's a triple threat, meaningless, thrown together match, which, by the way, why are there so many fatal four-ways and triple threats and multi-man matches? You understand why? It's because WWE has no idea what they're doing, so let's just throw all the talent in these random matches. But the actual people who deserve to be on the card, like Sheamus or Ludwig or Melo Hayes, or any of these people, get absolutely nothing but airtime. That's all they get. They get nothing. They're going to be watching the show from home, eating burgers in Vegas. So that's it. But anyways, back to the point. Along with the other fantasy booking, you had those matches. You had Intercontinental Championship matches between Braun Breaker and Sheamus. Sheamus finally winning his IC belt. Logan Paul fighting versus, anybody. AJ Styles works. Then you can fit that in there. Chad Gable actually getting to do something. Maybe fighting LA Knight for the US belt. Or maybe Jacob Fatu, LA Knight, and Chad Gable. That's one triple threat. And then a bunch of singles matches. So that way you're not just forcing talent on the card. You actually have something for us to look forward to. But instead, we are getting a card that is filled with garbage, right? That's not what the fans want at all. The builds have been poor. The fans have sat here this entire Mania season complaining about the build, critiquing the build, and the best thing that Triple H had to offer was forced triple threat matches, forced fatal four-ways, forced one-on-one matches that no one cares about. Who is paying $10K for El Grande Americano versus Rey Mysterio? For Logan Paul versus AJ Styles. Both of those matches will probably be bangers in ring, but in terms of the actual quality and the meaningfulness of them, why are they there? Why? This is embarrassing. The women's IC belt, not on the card. Women's US belt, not on the card. Tag team belts, not on the card. Maybe the women's tag team championships will be on the card, but other than that, nobody cares about this stuff. It is a joke. They didn't listen to the fans at all, despite us being told how amazing everything is, and Triple H listens to the fans. He monitors the feedback on X and on YouTube and on Instagram, all this stuff. Well, why didn't he monitor the feedback and make a good Mania? Huh? What was so hard about doing that? And now you factor this in as well. Another reason they don't care about the fans is that as we're starting to witness, the actual wrestling and entertainment, the storytelling aspect of wrestling, which is what made it as great as it was in the Attitude Era and the Ruthless Aggression, in moments throughout the PG era, and moments throughout even the 2020s so far. Those elements have been substituted for no-name celebrities showing up, for unfunny comedians, and a boatload of sponsorships and advertisements for nothing that no one cares about. I don't care about drumsticks and John Cena in a commercial. I want to see John Cena on the show cutting promos or wrestling. I don't care about Snickers and M&Ms in Minecraft movie, in this movie, in that movie, in Hulk Hogan's American beer that no one cares about. The only drink I'm worried about is Wheatley, so good I drink it neatly. But for real though, be real with yourself, man. Nobody cares about this stuff. This is absolute nonsense. Nobody wants to sit back and watch garbage content and watch a bunch of advertisements and what's called nonsensical sponsorships taking place of actual matches or stories that can be built. Just think about how many times a week we sit here and get an ad for a Pat McAfee show, or Triple H's Hall of Fame induction, or a replayed vignette of a promo that happened a week or two prior. Why are we seeing so many of these replays, repetitive, nonsensical segments that fill up airtime for the show? Instead of that, give us actual matches. Give us professional wrestling, entertainment, drama, storytelling, and impact. That's what wrestling has been built on for decades, and that's what's made it so great in the past. Why are we straying away from that to make it a couple extra bucks by advertising some Snickers or some M&Ms or a Minecraft film? Really? This is what it's become? I told you, this company, WWE and TKO, right, and Triple H themselves, they do not care about the fans. If they cared about the fans, we would have a better product. They're fleecing money. They're stealing money from Netflix. They stole $5 billion from Netflix, and in return, they've had millions of people tune out of their product over the last couple months just alone. Just alone. Why do you think that is? You know how bad your product has to be for 6 million people to be watching it, and then proceeding the following weeks afterwards, no one's watching it anymore? You have like half the audience now? Half the people tuned out because they're like, hey, this either sucks, we don't care about it, it's not meaningful, it's not entertaining, and quite frankly, there's no stars. There's 0 stars. And again, another thing, if WWE cared about the fans, we would actually be getting more stars. We would be seeing our younger talents wrestling consistently. We would be seeing our older talents even, at least in the ring cutting promos or doing something. But instead, we get nothing. You get nothing as a fan. You get ads, you get sponsors, you get inclining ticket prices, you get all kinds of garbage to fill the void of there being no real actual good content from this company anymore, at least on a consistent basis. It's an absolute farce, it's a lie, and it is embarrassing. The fans have been absolutely hoodwinked and they've been tricked. We're supposed to be getting content that's going to have us excited and joyful and hyped for this Mania season. But WrestleMania is happening next weekend, and it feels like a glorified crown jewel. Been saying that for weeks. It's a glorified crown jewel that no one cares about. Come on, man. This Raw, it's 2 weeks before Mania. We're getting random matches that no one remembers, no one's thinking about, and no one cares for. And so because of this, we have a Mania season now that has no hype, no intrigue, no build. People are not selling out these stadiums because nobody cares. And it's because nobody cares that the WWE now doesn't care first, and now the fans don't care, and it's going to cause a more of a decline in viewership, more of a decline in ratings, and more of a decline in overall quality. And it's because of this that we will witness of the eventual failure and the downfall fully of WWE, as they sacrificed what fans want and what built fans' excitement for this company and their intrigue and their interest over the last, 20, 30 years, however many years, 40 years, whatever, right? The reason the intrigue has been this high is simply because of the stories, the wrestlers, the performers, the entertainment, the iconic moments, the Manias, the SummerSlams, the Survivor Series, the Chambers, etc. The matches, the moments, the OMG, this is awesome. That type of stuff. Not ads and D-list celebrities and D-list comedians that aren't funny at all. We want wrestling. We want professional wrestling. We want stories. We want drama. We want excitement. We want joy. That's what we want. Wrestling isn't the problem. It's the people who are running it. With that being said, thank you all for watching. Have a phenomenal day. Peace out. And one love.